Hello guys and welcome back to the channel. I'm doing this video because I've had a lot of comments and emails actually from you guys or from some of my subscribers um, asking me for a more detailed um, and the information that I do to earn a living here in the Philippines without a pension. So guys, stick around and I will let you know all what I do and the ins and outs of it, the information. I will leave links in the description at the end of the video for you to click on these links and you can do what I do. Stick around, guys. Okay, it's fairly late here now. It's almost 10 o'clock. So you got the shadow behind me. I'm in my room, in where I work actually. This is the whiteboard behind me. And the light is shining down, so you got the shadow. I do apologize. Anyway, guys, because of I've had a lot of comments and more emails from people asking how I can survive here without a pension. And what I do, I teach. I teach English online, and I'll tell you how I'll tell you a little bit more about it because it's not as easy as what you think. But as soon as you get the knack for it, anyone can do it. Anyone can do it, providing you've got a good um, knowledge of just even speaking English and clear English. So, obviously teaching online, it was and it still is, a great way, to earn a living, whilst, you could be a digital nomad or, you're location dependent or you're living in the country. And it's good to earn money. And even if you're traveling around, it's great. And, you know, it's not hard to do. It's really not hard to do. There are many online platforms out there. I will leave the links for the ones that I work for uh, in the description. But you know, it's very simple, yeah. Because as an online English teacher, you're essentially offering lessons to students uh, who are learning English as a second language, and it's possible to teach students of all levels and ages from anywhere in the world. And since they are always held online, you do need a good internet connection or a half decent internet connection. Now, you know, even in the Philippines, I'm quite lucky because I've got fiber, um, PLDT. But I've only recently had that. Maybe the last 4 months I've gotten that. But before that, I was on Wi-Fi with these boxes, like a Globe open line box, and the SIM card, and you get an antenna, and you put the antenna up, and you get I got a great signal. I was doing it for years with that alone, and I was getting, I think, 35, 40 megabytes a second. And it's fast enough. All what you need is about 3 megabytes a second and about two. That's download and about 2 megabyte upload, and you are able to do it as long as it's stable. Sometimes if you're working with the Wi-Fi, then during the storms and such things, it's not so stable, but you can still do it. The trick is, when you're teaching English, many of these students, or my students, are from all over the world, literally. I've even got some in Europe, France, uh, Italy, and mainly they are from East Asia, China, uh, South Korea, Japan, um, and places like that. Now, they generally have all different levels of requirements. So, some of them just want a conversation. Some of them would just like to read. You give them some reading material. They will read to you. Um, on their pronunciation, if it's needs correcting, you correct it for them, and you get them to say it 5 or 10 times, this word that they find hard to pronounce, until they get it right, and so they don't forget. When you learn them a new vocabulary, you you just make them or ask them to make a sentence up with this new vocabulary. And this is how they do. This is just a little example of things, but one of the major things is not your ability of being an English teacher or teaching English online. It's simply having a connection with the students. And once you get this connection with these students, they will keep coming back to you time and time again. And I mean this because I've got students that I've been teaching for a long time, even when I was in South Korea. Um, you know, when I left South Korea, some of the students, they they wanted me to teach them online when I left, and I've still got some of the students from a long time ago, and they still having classes with me. It's not, and the beauty of it is, guys, because a lot of you might be, or some comments I might get will probably say, well, you're in a foreign country, in the Philippines, you can't work legally. Well, that's true. You can't work legally for a company that's in the Philippines, that's based in the Philippines. If the company in which you work for is not based in the Philippines, it's perfectly fine because you're not breaking any laws. I'm a permanent resident anyway, so I can work for any country in the Philippines, any company here in the Philippines. Sorry, guys, I'm a bit tired. I didn't get a lot of sleep there last night. I've been out all day with my family, with my little boy running all over the place. But yeah, so if you're a resident, fine, you can work. It doesn't matter where the company is. But anyway, these companies that I work for, they are not based here. They are in America. It's totally fine. It's totally legal. And you will be a contractor. So you are not directly employed by them. You are simply a contractor, which means you haven't got that much um, job security, because they can get rid of you at any time. But I've been working for this one company, which I will leave a link in the description, or I will tell you a bit later in the video about who I work for and why I work for them. The main thing is being, like I said, is being able to have a rapport with the students. It's very, very, very important. It's very important. And because they will keep coming back to you. Okay. Now, some of the gear that you might need. Now, because the Philippines is a noisy place, you will need a noise cancellation bit of software. Or unless you are in a remote place where there is no chickens and dogs and motorcycles going past and things like this. So I use Crisp, and this bit of software is absolutely fantastic. You install it on your computer, and all what you can hear is your voice. Or even if my son's making noise in the background, they can't hear him. They can only hear my voice. You definitely need that. And you need a decent webcam. You can get a decent webcam. The one I'm using, I'm just looking now, is a Air 4 Tech. Air 4 Tech. And I think they're about 1,000 pesos. And I've had this one for about 3 years. It's never gone wrong. It's never missed a beat. It's still working. Some teachers like to use headset. I don't. I'm just like this because I think it's more natural. When you wear a headset, it's like being in a bloody call center, and it's clear. It's always clear because you're using crisp noise cancellation piece of software, so the videos are always good, and the sound quality is always good. If you don't get that, guys, then forget it. You don't have to use Crisp. I think there's many out there, but I use Crisp. It was the first one I tried, and it was brilliant, so I've just stayed with it. Now, some of you will be thinking, do you need teaching experience? Well, depends on the level of English in which you will be teaching. I mean, I'm an English teacher anyway. I've been teaching since I left my university, but you don't need teaching experience for two of these companies, which I will tell you. You don't need any teaching experience because with Cambly, they have uh, lesson plans in the application which you will be using when you have these classes, from beginner to intermediate to advanced, and business English, academic English, and so on, and just normal everyday topics in which you can talk about. If you want to work for some of the other companies, which I have worked for, they require a TEFL certificate, which I got that as well. But I don't work for that company no more because it become too much of a. This is being a contractor, you have flexibility, meaning you can set your own schedules, your times, the days you want to work, the days you don't want to work. So you can get it to work around you. But if you work for some other teaching companies, which I quit because they wanted you to work so many hours a day, starting at this time, that time, and many of the students, they wanted, because they finished school or their universities 4 o'clock in the evening, so they wanted me to work at 8 o'clock at night. But I don't want that. I don't want to work them kind of hours. Just a few hours a day does me. Oh, I'm saying a few. I work 5 or 6 hours a day, and that's good. It does me, especially for living in the Philippines here. And I've got a couple of other little things going on which I can earn a little bit of an income. So I don't need to do so many hours. But if you want to, you can. The option is there. So the requirements, like I said, you need a good internet connection. You need that crisp noise cancellation service, or I think you can actually get a headset. I think that's got it built in, but I don't like using a headset. So I just use that software and it's perfectly okay with me. And this is the perfect opportunity, guys, for people to actually come here and stay for as long as you like. I mean, I've been doing it here now for a few years, and we've always got enough. I've got a lot of students, and I could have a heck of a lot more if I wanted to. I mean, if I wanted to, I could work 24 hours a day, 7 days a week, because I've got enough students to be able to do that. But of course, I don't want to do that. But you might want to. It depends how much you want to earn, but you can definitely do that. So it all depends on you. And like I said, I will say the names, but I will write the platforms in the description. Now, one is, which I think is a really good one actually, is www.cambly, CAMBLY.com. Now they pay, it's only $10.20 an hour. But if you're in the Philippines, that's like 500 pesos an hour. Plus, that's more than 500 pesos an hour, 600 probably. 600 pesos an hour. Now, if you do that for 8 hours a day, that's good money. It's like $81 plus a day. And you can live on that in the Philippines easy. I don't care what you're doing, if you wanted to do that. The other one is www. And I will leave this in the description. I will leave a link to these sites. Preply.com. Now, this one works a little differently, whereas you set your own prices. Let's say you want to set your price at $25 an hour. Well, you can do that, and I do that occasionally, and I get students on that, but they are a little bit more academically minded. So I do a lot of IELTS. I teach IELTS on that. OPICs. Um, I don't do TOEICs. I only do IELTS and OPICs. Uh, I don't work for that company very much because it's a little bit too demanding sometimes. But if you want to earn a bit more money, which sometimes I do, maybe some weekends, like this weekend I was working for them, or this morning, and tomorrow morning I will work at Preply because you can get that kind of money. But with Preply, they take, I think, 30% of your $25, or if you want to charge $30 an hour. But bearing in mind, guys, the more money you charge an hour, it might be a little bit harder to get students, especially in the very beginning when you're starting and you've got a North Star rating. So keep it low, keep it $15 an hour, and you will get students. Cambly, you get that $10.20 an hour, but that is what you get. There is nothing taken out of that because they make the money from the students paying them before you get it. Now, the payments with Cambly is every week. Every Wednesday you will get paid. Every Wednesday morning you can get paid into your bank through Stripe. I think you can get a direct deposit as well. I'm not quite sure. Is it still working? Yeah. And you can get it's paid through PayPal. I get paid through PayPal, and then you just transfer it into your bank. There's a little bit of fees with that, but it's not too bad. But if you go through Stripe, the fees are minimal. But I just can't be bothered to change over. I've used PayPal for such a long time. I'm confident with PayPal. Preply is, I think now, it's once every 2 weeks, and that's PayPal only. They pay you through PayPal, and then you just transfer it into your bank, and then you go and draw it out the bank. And you can get a direct deposit from PayPal, and it's in there instant. It's an instant deposit. So you transfer it, and then it's in your bank account there and then. There are many others as well, but they might require more certification. So there are 15, 20, 25, 30 of them, probably more, but I only use these two. There was one I used to use, which I don't use anymore, and it's only you would only be able to teach Koreans because it's based in Korea, and that was called www.ontue, ontue.com. Again, I will leave a link in the description for these three. If someone was to say to me, Stephen, which one would you recommend? I would. If you're not so bothered about working for $10 an hour, 500 or 600 pesos an hour here, then I would say Cambly. But if you want to earn a bit more money, but you want to put a bit more effort into it, then go for Preply. Do that. So that's it, guys. Really, I just thought I'll give you a bit of a detailed explanation of what I do and what you can do, because for these as well, although I've got my certification, which I did upload it and give them, they didn't ask for it, but I still gave them it. And what you do as well, guys, when you apply for these, you've got to upload a video, just a little bit about yourself. So just say what you do, where you've come from, your interests, and you do that, and that is what the students will first ever see when they go to book a class with you. And then you do a little bio, where you've been, the jobs that you've done, and you can put in there whatever you want, basically. And if you have got any teaching certificates, then you can upload it as well, because it is an advantage, of course it is, which I did. I have, I uploaded mine, and my university degree has been an educator, so I did that, and that's it. And then I guarantee you, with Cambly, I guarantee you, you will get, as soon as Cambly takes a little time for acceptance. You know, it could take 24 hours or it could take a week or 2 weeks. It depends on how many tutors that they've got compared to students. But now is the time to do it, guys. And I'll tell you why. Is because it's Black Friday. And Cambly are doing a half price a promotion for their, to get more students. So there will be an influx now of new students. So they will be now looking for teachers, or they call them tutors. They will be looking for tutors. So now would be the time, guys, to apply, because you'll probably be accepted straight away. As soon as you're accepted, you can go on there, you can put your times in there, your days, the hours in which you want to work, and I guarantee by the end of the day, you will have students. I promise that. And that's it. And you just, you do your best that you can. You see what the students want. You ask them what they want, their requirements. You ask them what they do, their jobs, if they're in college or if they're in school, university. You ask them what major they're, and you just make a friend with them. It's not hard to do, guys. I promise. It's not hard to do. And this is a way, even if you have got a pension, and age is unrelated here. You can be any age as long as you're over, I think, 18 or is it 21? Might be over 21 years old, I think, to do this. So, I mean, even if you want a bit of extra money, or even if you haven't got a lot of money and you want to earn extra money, this is a perfect thing for you guys to do. If you're Cambly, I believe only accept native English speakers. So, England, Canada, Australia, America, things like that. So, I mean, if you fall into that category, then yeah, you will get a start. And you could be earning money tomorrow. But just do it, guys. We all need extra money sometimes, even if you've got a pension. And if you get bored, you can just do it out of boredom. And again, you can pick your time. So let's just say you don't want to work tomorrow, then you don't put any schedules in tomorrow. But you want to work Monday, Tuesday, Friday. It's up to you. It's flexible as that. It's flexible as that. But a little word of warning when you do this, and you do, a schedule, and you've got a student, try not to cancel it. Do it. And again, people might say, what about the brownouts? Yes, we do get brownouts. I get a lot of them. But I just invested 11,000 pesos and bought a small generator, a one and a half kilowatt, and that runs my computer beautifully. In fact, it runs my refrigerator. It runs the electric fans. So I just switch over to the generator. So that would, because I'm in like a province, I do get a lot of brownouts. But if you're in the city, perhaps you don't get as many. But it might be a wise investment to buy. And you can buy silent generators if you want to spend a bit more money. Because I've got a lot of neighbours around me, it doesn't matter about my little noisy generator. But it runs great, and I've been running that for 3 years, on and off. When I get a brownout, I just switch over, done, and I can continue. Because I don't like to cancel classes, and it's not good, because it'll strike against you. And obviously these students are waiting for you, and if you let them down. But I mean, if there's emergency, that does come up, you can write to the student and say, look, I'm sorry, I can't make it. Something's come up, or we've got a typhoon and the internet isn't too clever. Can we, make it another time? And they will say, yeah, that's fine, blah, blah, blah. But yeah, that's it, guys. Listen, it's simple. You can do it. Regardless of age. And like I said, regardless if you've already got a pension, you can still do this. It's a bit of extra money. I'm sure there's some people who do this anyway with pensions, and they still do it as a bit of extra income. But that's it. I will leave a link in the description of these websites, and then you can have a look yourself. And listen, guys, it's a Saturday night here, and wherever you are, if you're in the Philippines, if you're not in the Philippines, have a good day. And I'll speak to you guys later. And I hope that this video has been of some assistance to someone who is thinking about it. And don't forget to subscribe, guys, if you haven't already. And like everyone says, hit the notification button, the like button. And I'd like to take this opportunity to thank all of my current subscribers and my new ones. Take good care, guys. Thank you so much. Bye bye.